I'll basically wanted to dwell on a couple of points, not necessarily onto the land acquisition issue per se, but basically this whole one of the key issues as to why the land, the land as a resource is uh, becoming more expensive and expensive. And is there anything which can be done to bring down the the price of these land in some way? Just to take this point, one of the thing is that if you really look at the way the land acquisition happens and eventually it comes to the market for development or putting up any proper project, the time gap which is taken from clearly conception to implementation is extremely long. Now, to any developer, to any real estate developer, land is nothing other than like being a commodity. And while in the case of the other industries, we have the raw material which is easily accessible, which is easily financeable, and the cycle time for converting the raw material into finished goods is fairly determinable. In the case of land, the cycle is pretty long, and the cycle takes almost, in some cases, even 8 years and 9 years and 10 years before it can actually be brought to a bankable level. The interesting point is that during this whole phase of land acquisition till it is put into the market, there is no formal financing which is actually possible on the land. If you really look at some of the regulations around the financing sector, while there is an express prohibition on financing land, there are also prohibitions which are indirect in the sense that the regulations normally say that you can finance only when all the approvals are in place. Now, when all approvals are in place means you can take up to the logical end of to the completion certificate, or to to start of the project when the initial approvals are in place. So there is a gap in terms of access to the markets for finance as far as land acquisition or till it is brought into a project stage. While that is the story on the this side of the market, on the demand side, I think practically there is almost reasonable clarity in terms of where the policy makers want the development to happen. We have this whole range of priority sector which covers a certain type of housing and other types of projects. There are this affordable housing limits which have been prescribed now by the Reserve Bank, which also enables a certain amount of policy direction to bring the supply into the market. But unfortunately, I think the creation of land bank, the creation of bankable projects, the lead time is so long that the cost overruns the cost which is built in terms of holding on to that inventory is extremely high. And the only form of formal finance which can probably be done for such type of acquisitions is either through a private equity or resorting with a NBFC finance, which obviously comes at a very, very high price tag. And those price tag obviously translate itself into the ultimate cost of the product which is delivered to the customers. So my theme on this is basically that can we do something to reduce this whole cycle from acquisition to put in place in terms of bankable this thing, and whether formal finance can follow in at some stage of these acquisition, whether with proper title insurance coming in place. We don't have proper title insurance type of products in this country, but whether one could look at that as an evolving sort of a product which can take this whole market to a more formal financing rather than being an informal financing or a financing at a very, very high rates of interest. So other than that, I mean, I'm not too familiar with the land acquisition rules and the problems involved thereon. But what we have seen practically in terms of the developers and others approaching us is their inability to acquire land and hold on to the land till they can put it into the project, the financing of that is a very, very serious constraint. Unless the developer has other sources of projects where he can effectively monetize them and bring it as a equity to acquire this project, there is no other way that anybody can actually acquire a land with a formal source of funding.